episode on Real Talk. Today I am here with Moriah. She is our Rehab Assistant and Field Secretary, and we're going to be walking through our property here in Dayton, and we're going to be showing you guys a little bit of what Renovations does, why we do it for our turnkey investors, and that way you guys can also see kind of what a finished product looks like. This one is a little different. I don't know if I said it already. It's located in Dayton, Ohio, but this one is in a historic area, so there are some things that are a little different, and Moriah will be explaining a little bit of that. So we're going to go ahead and get started with what are some general things that you guys did in the property as a whole.
So in the property as a whole, we had to rewire most of the house because it was on knob and tube wiring, which is old and not very safe. Like, it doesn't meet safety standards. And then we redid the plumbing for the kitchen and the bathroom upstairs, and we installed a new HVAC system, so a new heat pump and furnace with an air conditioning unit outside. And then for the most part, we just did on the inside some cosmetic work. So we patched drywall, put up new drywall, and then painted, and then we sanded, stained, and finished the floors.
These floors are beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I love them. They're amazing.
Oh yeah, I love the nice hardwood floor. It just makes everything look so crisp, so clean.
Yes.
But it still has that nice classic touch to it.
Yes.
A lot of the woodwork that you see like around the house is original work. The only thing that's not original would be that handrail,
which we'll show you in a minute.
But they did pretty good with keeping everything the way it's supposed to be, like the built-in curio cabinets. They're just beautiful.
Yes. And that goes to say, like I said, it's a historic home, so you want to try to keep some of that historic home or historic features in the home to kind of keep that charm and aesthetic in it. And it's, like we both said, and we'll probably continue to say throughout this episode, it's just beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so now we're going to go kind of room by room. We'll start in this room just because we're already here. So this is kind of like a living area, kind of den, if you will, I don't know.
Yeah.
So what exactly did we do in these two areas?
So in these two areas, we closed off the fireplace because it's not usable. So we just closed it off to keep the tenants safe. And then we put in new windows there, and I think we replaced a lot of the glass in the panes around because a lot of glass is broken out. So, and then we just redid, we painted the walls, did some drywall touch-ups, and I think this room is pretty nice from what I can tell from the original pictures.
Yes.
So that's most of what we did. We installed new lighting, the sconces, and the ceiling light, and made sure everything worked there. Although I think this floor is original, so I don't think we messed with this one.
That's what I was going to ask. Did you hear anything on why we didn't replace this flooring?
Well, I mean, you can tell that it already looks really nice, and it didn't get scratched up during the remodeling, so we just kept this floor as it is. And then we just ended up sanding and restaining the dining room to match this one.
Okay. Nice. And I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, usually when we find floors like these that are not these durable, nice, solid wood floors, we try to keep them in there, correct?
Yeah. Not only does it save on cost, but it also has a nice aesthetic.
Yes, absolutely. And it's durable. You shouldn't have to worry about, replacing it or anything like you would if you had carpet or things like that, which comes in handy when you are a real estate investor. And usually makes your turns less expensive.
Recording. Okay, so now we are going into the dining area. You kind of touched on this a little bit. What all, can you kind of explain happened in here?
So in here, we did a lot more like drywall work. We had to patch a lot a lot more holes. We had to do some work on the ceiling. And so we patched the drywall and painted. And like I said, a lot of the woodwork is still original, and the floors are still original. We just sanded and refinished them to make them look nicer.
Yes. Now, aside from the floors, was anything kept in here that we didn't change out? And do you know why we didn't change them out?
So like the door frames, we think add a lot to this house. So you'll see like these nice dark wood frames throughout the house. And they just add a lot of character to the doorways because you have a nice arch and it just really adds. And the windows are also original. We typically add in these blinds just to keep, give the future tenants an option to shutter the light as they desire to. That way they don't have to like hang blankets and stuff like that to block out light. It's just a nice little addition that we think to put in for our tenants.
Now, did we run into any issues with the windows due to this being in a historic area?
No, we didn't. A few of them we had to change the locks on because the locks are broken. But we didn't have any violations or any issues come up with replacing windows. And I think most of them, if we didn't just outright replace, we at least changed the glass out. So we tried to keep the original frame, but the frame is still good, and we just replaced the pane of glass, just to keep with the character.
Perfect. Do you want to go ahead and go into the kitchen?
Sure. Now the kitchen has been updated a lot more, but I am really happy that we kept the original cabinets because it has this really sweet like oak tree design engraved in the doors, and it just really adds a lot to the character. In the kitchen, we had to do a lot more work. As you see, we installed LVP for the flooring, and we did paint the cabinets and installed new countertops with this nice modern glass and stone backsplash. And I think it just looks really nice. It gives it a nice updated feel to a really classic house. So that would be the kitchen.
Now, why do we do the LVP, and what is LVP?
So LVP is luxury vinyl plank. It's a vinyl flooring, so it's a lot more durable. And we have noticed that there aren't as many issues with it as there would be with like a linoleum floor, or if we did install like a hardwood, because it's a kitchen and you tend to spill a lot in a kitchen. So that can damage some floors. So the LVP is a lot more durable, especially because there's like an entrance from outside into the kitchen, so it's easy to clean and just to keep low maintenance.
And then again, it's results easier in turns, as well as it should be more cost efficient when you are turning. As she said, the LVP is a lot more durable than other options that you would have.
So this is the laundry room. And you have like a little storage cubby back here where you can put some shelves. Washer, dryer, hookups are in here. This is not part of the original house. This was added on by a previous owner. As you can see, this is technically the exterior wall of the house, and you can see it on this side as well. This is the exterior wall of the house. So this entire, we call it a bump out, was added by a previous owner. And this area had a lot of problems when we bought it because the roof was leaking. So any drywall that had been up here, any wood that had been in here, was just completely ruined. So we had to rebuild this entire room from the ground.
Oh no. But it's all good now. Did you run into any issues with the historic district on that at all?
No, because it was pre-existing.
Okay.
Before we bought it. So they did not give us too much of a headache for that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. I think we are going to go head upstairs now. So let's go there. So you, in the beginning of the video or podcast, you briefly talked about the staircase, which is a beautiful staircase and landing. So now what was original here and what was not, if any?
Okay, so this is all original. Like all of this carved moldwood is all original. The stairs themselves are original. We didn't paint them. Just to keep everything uniform. The only thing that we added was this guardrail. And they did a pretty good job trying to help it blend in with the rest of the house. So this was added for safety purposes. We didn't want somebody to just, walk off the end or something like that. So, yes, we added this. And this is all original woodwork.
Perfect. This window right here is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. It's like a nice little place to take the seat if you don't want to continue going all the way up the stairs.
Take a little rest break.
Yeah, and you have a nice, it's just nice. It's nice light to add in. You can put some plants up here.
Oh, yes.
Just make it real lively.
Now, all of this brown, did we paint or stain any of this, or was that already like this when we acquired the property and trying to just, like I said, keep that, aesthetic?
So we just painted the stairs themselves, but all of this brown, the stained wood is all original to the house.
Perfect. So now we are upstairs, and this is one of the bedrooms. What can you tell me about this one?
So in the bedrooms upstairs, we did a lot of work with mostly the drywall again. We had to do a lot of patching. There weren't a lot of holes, but we still had to patch the holes, scrape the old paint, and repaint. And in some cases, we had to do the same to the ceiling. And the part that I really love about these upstairs bedrooms are, first off, these floors. I think they just are so interesting. The thinner hardwood, these are still the original floors. We just sanded them and stained polyurethane. And then these little bay windows are just so sweet. You have just this little white area right here with the original windows and window panes, and they do work. Like that. So you can get some nice light in, you can get some nice air in, and I just think it's really a nice little area. And that's how it is in both of the front bedrooms in this property. Mm-hmm. You have this nice little bay window area where you can put like a little princess bed, or like build a nice little train set. And so in this closet, this I believe used to be like a half bathroom.
Oh, interesting.
Like this really cool window, like just in your closet. There was some old piping in here that we sealed off and covered up with some drywall, but now it's a nice little closet. Some of the door handles are original.
Oh, very nice.
And then some of them are just classy. So, just very classy doorknobs with the
And we don't do locking doorknobs, correct, when we replace them?
Correct. That way you can't get locked out of a room, and then you also can't get locked in a room, because that can be a fire hazard too. You know, you don't want to get locked in a room where you can't get out. Or you don't want your kids to lock you out of their bedroom. You know. So we don't put locking knobs on. Just for safety purposes and for consideration to all of our tenants.
Perfect. Okay, and here looks like we have that LVP again.
Yes.
What else did we have going on in here?
Oh, we have so much going on in here. All of the fixtures are brand new. So you have a brand new vanity, mirror, toilet, bathroom, or bathtub with surround and shower. And we had to redo all the piping for these. And I think pretty much the only original thing in this bathroom is this lovely medicine cabinet. And it's quite an interesting little character, but so again, we try to modernize the essentials. You know, like your kitchen, your bathroom, we try to modernize them, but then we still try to keep it classy. So then you get that modern feel, but with the character of a classic house.
Perfect. And then we, like you said, in the kitchen, the LVP is for durability. You know, again, bathroom, very wet, can withstand that. It can withstand a lot of weather, if you will. And we actually, Bulldog Renovations has a saying called Bulldog Tough. It's built to withstand a Bulldog, which is good for tenants.
Yeah, it's great. I thoroughly enjoy LVP because it's great for pets. It's great for people with allergies because you don't have any fibers for allergens to get trapped in. And then, it's easy to clean. So if you're giving kids a bath and they're getting water all over the place, as kids do, or as adults do, it's easy enough. You can just wipe out the floor, and it has pretty good traction, so you won't slip as much as you would on like a tile floor.
Perfect. I did not know that fun fact about allergies. Now I do. Yeah. That is good to know. All right, and then I think this was just another bedroom. Again,
this would be like the master bedroom. You have 2 closets.
Very nice. Large closets.
Yes. Well, this room used to have a balcony, so.
Interesting.
Where the doorway was for the balcony, but it's a bit of a safety hazard that we didn't want. So we just walled it off and re-roofed, and so now there's no balcony, but you have a really huge closet or a nursery if you so choose, or a small office.
So, in a nutshell, it sounds like there's a couple of things. So, one, if the hardwood in a home is good and durable, we will keep it. We will refinish it and everything, clean it, do all that stuff. But we will keep it, 1, for durability, and 2, to keep the aesthetic of the original home. And that's all amazing things for tenants, turnkey properties. And then same thing with the LVP. If the floor, does need replaced, we will put in that LVP for durability. What else can you think of off the top of your head?
Well, for a lot of our turnkey properties, I mentioned it downstairs in the dining room, but we'll install blinds for all of the windows.
Oh, yes.
So that the tenants have the option to change their lighting, and then that keeps them from having to throw up blankets or sheets. And they're standard in all of our turnkey properties. And again, for durability purposes, we generally don't keep carpet because that's a high maintenance.
Yes.
High maintenance. So that's pretty much most of it. Yeah, we repaint, we'll do drywall work, and we'll just take care of a lot of like the existing issues. So if we have to run new electric, we'll run new electric. And we generally try to make sure that there's a washer dryer hookup for a future tenant, and then a place for a stove and a fridge in the kitchen. So that's mostly what we do for turnkeys.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and go back downstairs and we'll do a quick recap, go over some numbers as well.
All right, so we are back downstairs where we first started in the beginning of the video. We're just going to give you some quick facts about the home. We've already mentioned that it was in a historic district. Actually, let's talk about that for a second. Did you guys run into any issues with it being in a historic district?
A lot of the issues that we ran into actually had to do with the exterior of the home.
Okay.
Because that's what people see when they drive through the historic district. And so there are certain standards that we had to bring the exterior up to in order to get a certificate of appropriateness.
Okay.
Which is what we needed so that the city doesn't get extremely mad and start charging us an arm and a leg. So we had to apply for the certificate of appropriateness. Work with a lot of vendors or a lot of inspectors, and we're always in contact with our inspector and with the historical district because there are a few things we still need to work on.
Okay.
And we just have to get better understanding the next time that we work with the historic district so that we know what they're expecting and we know what to tell our contractors.
Yes.
So that it can be the best.
And every historic district is different. Jennifer and I, our rehab coordinator, I believe is her title, we actually did an episode on what to expect when buying a home in a historic district. That doesn't go to say, like I just said, a lot of historic districts are, they have kind of different niches, if you will, and different requirements for the exterior. And something to do that we learned is get everything approved before you start working to avoid paying, if you will, because the city will give you a citation and they will fine you and all these things. I don't know if that actually happened with us in this case, but I know that they will. They don't they typically like the game of, well, we didn't know. And a lot of people that are in historic districts that are on the historic district committee live in the historic district. So they usually have their eyeballs on the properties. And they like to keep everything, similar to keep it that historic district thing. So do we have any setbacks with anything? I know you kind of said you had to get some things approved. Did that affect the timeline at all?
It has affected the timeline a bit,
Okay.
but it's more affected the budget because we had to put more money into the property.
Okay.
So, like getting the exterior power wash, or getting a stonemason to work on something, or just getting like vegetation removed. All of these things, they all add up.
Yeah.
And so that can affect our budget, which can set back the timetable. As far as interior, there weren't really any setbacks.
Okay.
Sometimes you have a setback with like actual permits for like electrical or HVAC or plumbing. Sometimes you can get hung up on those permits. But that's just more of like a general contracting, not necessarily historic. So historic, we just had to take into account what they were asking us to do. And then we just added it to the work that needed to be done.
Perfect. So how long did it end up taking to get this property done?
So we bought this property back in October of 2021.
Okay.
And I believe we finalized all of the interior and exterior work back at the end of April.
Okay.
So it took a number of months to get everything, to really get the ball rolling with all of the work that needed to be done.
Yeah. And like, I'm sure, like you said, the historic district and having some, needing to get some things approved and things like that set that back a little bit, which is another thing that Jennifer and I talked about in our episode on what to expect when buying a historic area. So as the property sits right now, today, this property is selling for $94,900. It is already under contract, so unfortunately if you're watching this video and you're interested in it, I apologize, but we should have more coming up for you in the future. The projected rent on this per month was $900. We actually got it rented for $999, so a little more. I'm sure the investor who acquired this property was very pleased to hear that. We always love hearing that. However, with those original numbers, the cap rate sat at 8% and the cash on cash sat at 12.12%, which brings you to a monthly cash flow of $225 and some change a month estimated. Like I said, that was with the original rent price at $900. So that is amazing. This property is beautiful. I am a little jealous of the future occupants of it.
I'm really excited for it.
Yes.
I think this will be a great home for anybody who gets to live here.
Absolutely. There's so much character in it. I'm glad we were able to preserve what we could with that. Try to keep the historic in it a little bit. I believe the property was built in 1928, I believe.
Right.
I will fact check that and put that in here. So that was very cool, and it's nice to see some of that original detail still in here in 2022.
Yes.
Do you have anything else that you would like to add on that at all?
Not particularly. I think we covered everything.
Yeah. We will be doing more of these videos in the future, some in historic districts, some not. The next one we should probably maybe do a non-historic, that way you can see some other changes in that and kind of see the difference in it. So I'll be excited to show you guys that. But for now, if you guys have any questions, please contact us at podcast@freedomrealestategroup.com. Any questions regarding getting started in real estate investing or expanding your portfolio or learning more about what we do here. If you want to chat with one of our property managers for Independence Property Management, if you have a podcast suggestion, anything, we are more than happy to help answer any questions you may have. We always like to end these videos with invest smart,
Live happy.
Bye guys.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific personal or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on this show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.